Welcome back to, I think this is what I'm officially going to call it, is Learn and Lab Watch Along. I can probably get a better name for that eventually, but Learn and Lab is the important part that I want to include in here, and Watch Along because I'm kind of figuring it out as I go as well. These aren't, the topics I bring in aren't stuff I've already labbed out. It's stuff that after watching a game I learn about and then come into the lab to try. So for today we're doing pretty much the same thing as last time, a little different actually. I've cleaned up the format a bit. I have, come on, there we go. I've got my list out here already prepared for what I want to discuss, and I've got a video here of the matchups with specific timestamps that I want to look at. So, continuing from the last time, I'll just quickly go through my list, and let's also mute the background noise just for a second. So, starting first with the good things. First thing I call out, here I'll let you take a look one more time, and then I'm going to probably toss this in the description of the video. So, first good thing that I have listed here was at 7 minutes and 45 seconds, I used 236C well to control space. So let's grab that timestamp. Right there. So let's go back just a second and we can see that again. So at this range, the wolf has to come back at you. And the important thing is the wolf can't block. So I wanted to try something different. I've been using 5B, but this also works really well. And very importantly, this gives me 2 stocks. This was a good button to try testing here. And I liked that usage there. Next thing, 15 minutes and 5 seconds. I had a comment for smart fishing with 2C. 2C is Izayoi's fatal counter, so just throwing that out sometimes for footsies or pressure can reward you pretty well. Nice, and so I got stocks off that. Cool. Alright, what else? Other things to pat myself on the back for. Using ODs better to avoid mix-ups and pressure or wake up. This is something I've been working on kind of slowly because coming from other games, you kind of just want to burst when you have your burst, or find a combo that's going to do a lot of damage and burst in that so you don't take the full damage. But the way you kind of use your burst and overdrive in this game is a little different. You kind of only want to burst if it's something that's really going to mess you up or kill you. At other points, using the overdrive to like get through pressure or alter how the wake up situation is going to play out is really important. So other things I have here, better fuzzy jumping. That's just also something small that I've been working on, is fuzzy jumping out of pressure when it gets to a distance where it looks like you can probably get out. Smaller things here, started using backdashes in my games because Izayoi's backdash is actually quite good, and it can help me get out of some tougher situations. Going into gain arts mode earlier than 8 stocks, because usually I tend to wait, and here it's later in the video. I'll also have the full VOD up to watch. But going into gain art early, even though you don't have max stocks, can sometimes help you, especially in this matchup where the mobility and air buttons she gets are very good at dealing with Valkenhayn. And another thing I had was I didn't get the clip of it here because it was like a 20 game set, and I took first 5 and last 5, but somewhere in there I remember I was like, man, I want to get better at confirming like jump A's into actual stocks or more damage. And then the very next game I was like more conscious of that, and then when I went for an air-to-air with JA, I actually did manage to convert it into more damage in stocks, so I thought that was really nice. Cool. So that is the things I thought I did good here. Let's take a look first at confirms to work on. First one I have is at 2 minutes and 3 seconds. I'll go a few seconds before it. What to do for max range GA confirms. So I'll let it play out, and then I'll think on it for a second. Yep, that whiffs. So, going back a little bit, let's see that one more time. So it hits from quite far. 2B max range is the key button here. So JC max range 2B. So with that in mind, let's come back to actual Blaze Blue. Yeah, got way smoother at this transition as well. Okay. So, I probably won't be able to set up the JC hitting at the range I want. Oh, that actually wasn't too bad. So at this range, what do we confirm into? In the video that you just saw, I can't convert into 5C because she has the short range 5C in GA. So backing up again just to show you. This is her normal mode 5C, and this is GA 5C. It's very fast and has some other different pickups it can use, but that also means I lose the range on the old 5C. So when I get that max range, what should I do here? I'm assuming it's going to be just convert to stocks quickly like that, or maybe I can get a 236B, 214B. Yeah, that rocks. Okay, so I think from max range 2B, I guess the thing to notice is if this is a really far JC or if this is a really far 2B, just be ready immediately to convert it into some form of damage. I think what I want to do is teleport behind and maybe 5C. Let's try that. There we go. That's something that's pretty easy for me to do. And I'm just going to check to make sure it works off normal 2B also. Nice. It works off normal 2B as well. So there we go. Something we just labbed and learned right there. Let's go back to the video then. I'm going to put down a quick note on that one. And then I'll say 236B, 214B, 5C pickup. Nice. Next one I have, I'll switch back to the other screen. At 2 minutes and 56 seconds, I said, what do I do for a max range 5B confirm? And let's mute this again really quick. I'll work on getting this smoother eventually. All right. So there is like a round start 5B. What can I convert it to at that range? That's a tough one because I don't know if I can even get anything meaningful out of it at that range. So let's go back one more time and see from a max space 5B if there's anything I can get. Okay. So about here is like max range. That might work. Nice, that looks like it works. That also works. Okay. Does anything else work? Let's set into counter hit. Let's recreate the situation. Actually, let's not. Let's assume it's just normal hit for now. What would I do if I got a normal hit of 5B from max range? Like usually, so my thought behind this is usually when I'm pressing 5B, I want to buffer something behind it to make it easier to hit confirm. So Let's put my display back on. Basically, when I'm poking with 5B, a lot of time I'm buffering 5C behind it. And that's nice because on hit, if you're at a close enough range, you'll get both these. And that's easy to hit confirm. At a farther range, if your 5B just whiffs, you only get 5B. And that's pretty nice. Because you're not whiffing 2 buttons, you're just whiffing 1. The hard part with this is that at this range, 5B will hit, but 5B, 5C will not hit. So when I'm at this range, what do I have to be buffering behind it instead of 5C to make this work? And I'm pretty sure it's going to be 236B or 236C. And I think 236B is ideally what I want because it gives me a better knockdown. Let's see if I can also convert it. Yeah, this is convertible. Oh man. Let's convert it from 5B. Here. Recreate the situation as close as possible. Okay, I think we get a standard right off that. Let me do 2A5C actually. Nice, that's very easy. And then I think, let's see if I get hard knockdown from it. Oh, not off that. Let's try another. Okay. So that was with 2B there. Let me try again. There we go. That's what I want. So there we go. So when I'm at far ranges, this is a concept you'll see in a lot of games, is buffering to make stuff easier for you. The good news also is at this range, even if they block this and block that, this is a very hard range for them to punish. And I can make it even harder by doing the C teleport. Now I'm like all the way back here after you've blocked that. There's like not really anything you can do about that. So here's the theory again. At close range, you can buffer 5B, 5C because it'll confirm. And you'll always get your combo. At farther ranges, trying to buffer 5B, 5C might make the 5C whiff, like that. So instead, we've got to start buffering 236B. And you can see on whiff, nothing's coming out, which is great for us. Even with 5A, wow, that's super cool. So on whiff, nothing comes out, but on hit, we get what we need. That's pretty much it. So that's really good to know. So off max range 5B, buffer 236B instead of 5C. Works the same and gets combo. All right, chugging right along. Next one is at 6 minutes. Switching back right now. Bam. At 6 minutes and 25 seconds, we land a 6C. And this is less of something for me to lab right now and more something for me to lab later. So let's full screen this and let's watch. Oh, very good. But we mess up the rest of the combo. So this is something small that I'll have to optimize a bit. I have not practiced my fatal combos. I know they go something like, let's see. Let me set the bot to fatal. I know off this, There we go. Here we go. Off this, it goes like, let's see, something like this. That's the only thing I really know about the routing. So that's why I said, oop, here we go. I didn't display that for a second. Here we are. So off a fatal counter, I know your routing can go something like that, but I haven't labbed it out enough to really say it with confidence, so that's something I'm going to go back and lab on my own later. But just noticing that that's a situation where off this, I get like practically anything. It's a really big fatal counter starter. So just knowing those situations and remembering to optimize on them is what I want to get at. All right, coming back here. Let's see the next one. Take down some notes one more time. Learn to optimize FC starters. Next one at 7 minutes and 53 seconds. Air hit into 5B means what? So right there is where the issue is. So let's scroll back just a little bit to see that again. So that's a situation, it looks like max range 5B again, but they're in the air this time. So switching it back to our other screen, I'm pretty sure if you've been paying attention to what I just said, you'll understand where the problem is now. Because we just learned for our max range 5B, we want to do that. But if they're jumping, let's get them to jump. If they're jumping, that 236B is probably going to whiff. Like that. So this is probably something I'm just going to need to choose on or get very good at reacting to. Because I'm pretty sure what I want to do here is just very simply that. Or, oh, that doesn't work unless they're low. Kind of like 623B here. Yeah, I like 63B here a bit more. You could also get a little creative with that. There's options here. But yeah, so after that, probably 623B, or if they're lower to the ground, I can do 236C. They gotta be really low to the ground though. Regardless, that's good. Okay. I'm putting notes down on that one. Low to ground equals 236C. High up equals 63B. Okay. And now other small things I have noted for myself, get more consistent with GA routes, more consistent with far and odd range routes, and more consistent anti-air confirms or air-to-air confirms. Those usually have like the 5A or JA starters, so they're always a little troublesome. Okay, let's move into the next note I had, which was on pressure. Coming back to the video, my timestamp is at 6:48 this time. So I'll just mute this. Here we go. So there I hesitate after the stance cancel, and I lose my turn and get blown up. So this is just something, as you play games, you start to develop that like system one thinking. Stuff just becomes more and more natural. So when you're doing pressure, with Izayoi, you want to toss in some stance cancels for a few reasons. Sometimes it's just to fake people out when you've conditioned them. Say my string that I'm usually doing is 2A, 2A, 5B, and then that, 2, 3, 6B. If this is the string I've done a lot, they're conditioned to wait until this thing comes out, because now they know it's their turn. This move is very negative. So what this means for us is that when we're doing this pressure, we can guard cancel it. Like that. And I use BA for my guard cancels usually. I don't know if I'd like to use CA instead. BA has always just felt the best to me. But do whatever you want for your guard cancels. Essentially, yeah, just using them partially as mix-up points. Like 5B GA isn't very plus or anything, but it lets you keep going your pressure while showing them the option of that stance. And just seeing that animation might make people flinch and be willing to block more. The other thing with guard cancels is off moves like 6C, that's plus. So 6C is +1, which means unless they got a really fast button, they're not interrupting that 2A. So that's good for us. Okay. And again, that's stuff that as you play more, you'll probably get better and better at, but just something good to note right now is work on one-player game. 1P game when doing guard cancels. Cool. All right. And now for the matchup-specific things. We're almost at the end of this. So two things that I wanted to bring awareness to in this matchup is applying pressure when the wolf gauge is low. That's something that Danny was pointing out to me, and I started to do more towards the end of the set. But when Valkenhayn doesn't have his wolf meter, it's a little bit different. So let's just get rid of this really fast. So when he doesn't have wolf meter, that means he has to play this kind of slow footsies-ish grounded game. And while this isn't, it's not the best for him, it's not exactly awful, but it just means he can't really, he doesn't have that mobility that he usually has. He doesn't have that explosiveness. He doesn't just get to fly over you, jump down at you. He loses all of that. So, being aware of that, other things in this matchup is that the wolf can't deal with fireballs. So if I'm right now in the wolf and I'm like holding down back, it's that like walk backwards. That's funny. I can't block because the wolf cannot block. So noticing how Valkenhayn players get around fireballs is important. All right, and now the final thing is, can I contest 5C 60JA or 5A 60JA? These are two things that I wanted to figure out. So let's go here. Perfect. Did that on the first try. All right. Let's play that back. Oh. All right. Here we go. Nope. Can't mash on that. Damn, that's tough. Oh, it is so tough. I can DP through this. I know that. Oh, if I can DP through it. Oh my god. It almost looks like he's going to safe jump, but he can't exactly safe jump because he's a wolf. He can't block. But, okay. So, I can't mash 5A through that. Can I mash 5A through wolf 5A 60JA? Perfect. Again. Damn, I'm good. That one I can. Okay, because that doesn't have as much block stun. And let's actually apply another thing right here, is just converting that string. Oh, one more try. One more. Hey, and look at that. This is the other thing, is you can apply a lot of things at the same time when you're learning a matchup. Cool. All right. I think I'm just about ready to wrap up. So let's bring it back over here and just go through again. What did we learn? And here. Okay. So things we learned about our confirms. For max range GA confirms, usually that is a GA attacking to 2B, converting that 2B into 236B, 214B, and 5C to get the quick pickup. What to do at max range for 5B confirms. Buffering 236B instead of 5C. It works the same as the 5C buffer, but getting that 236B out will actually let us get a confirm. For the 6C fatal counter, that's just me needing to learn fatal counter routes, as well as a lot of things down here, consistent GA routes, far odd routes, or A to A, 5A anti-air confirms. And then finally, air hit 5B into what? If they're low to the ground, you can do 236C, but in most cases it looks like you want to use 63B. And going down a little further, frames between wolf cancels. So 5C wolf JA, I can't mash 5A on. However, if it's wolf 5A, yes, I can mash it on. I don't think I'll recognize this scenario too much, and I don't know exactly the advantage between these two scenarios, but I can ask a Valkenhayn player and maybe they can point it out, and then we can see what else to do. And we also learned some things about the wolf matchup versus Izayoi, and also got a few good things that I was applying. So with that, I will wrap this one up, and you can see the full VOD on YouTube if you want to watch the actual matches. All right, goodbye.